I always wake up before my alarm. I don't know if it's discipline or anxiety pretending to be disciplined. My apartment is quiet, the kind of quiet that reminds you rent is due in 3 days. I lie there staring at the ceiling, thinking about lines I haven't memorized yet and auditions I haven't heard back from. My phone is already buzzing with emails. 3 casting notices that look promising, 1 rejection for a part one didn't even want, and a reminder from my acting coach that payment is overdue. The glamorous life, right? I drag myself out of bed and walk to the mirror. I stare at my own face like it's a product I'm supposed to sell. Is my jawline sharp enough today? Do I look tired? Should I care? I splash cold water on my cheeks. Every actor's bathroom sink is basically a mini emotional reset station. And today, I need a reset. I make coffee even though I know it'll make my stomach shake. I scroll through my sides, the script pages for today's audition. It's for a supporting role in a streaming series. Not the main guy, not the funny guy, not the muscular guy, the friend who listens. I always get called for that. Maybe my face looks like someone who hears problems. While I drink my coffee, I practice lines in front of my fridge because the stainless steel makes me feel like I'm acting to an audience. It's weird, I know, but that's the job. Finding ways to feel real in spaces that aren't. The line I keep repeating is, "You didn't have to lie to me." I say it angry, then sad, then confused. Then I try neutral, which ends up looking like constipation. Acting is embarrassing. Most people don't realize that. You spend half your life pretending to feel things you don't feel, and the other half pretending you're fine when you're absolutely not. By the time I'm dressed, the sun is barely up. I pick my outfit carefully because wardrobe tells a story before I even speak. Today I'm going for gentle but secretly traumatized friend energy. So, a soft hoodie, clean but not fashionable. Hair messy in a way that's styled to look accidental. Every detail planned. I head out. Traffic is brutal. The kind of slow crawl that makes you question every decision that led you here. I rehearse lines in my car even though people in the next lane keep staring. They probably think I'm fighting with someone on Bluetooth. If they only knew I was arguing with imaginary characters written by a writer who probably hates actors. I get to the casting studio early. Being early is part of survival. Actors live in fear of the phrase, "We're not going to need you today." I check in with the assistant. She says, "Have a seat. We're running a little behind." They always say that. It's the only consistent thing in this profession. The waiting room is full of guys who look exactly like me. Same height, same haircut, same friendly but not threatening vibe. We make small talk because pretending not to hate each other would take too much energy. One guy says he was up for a big role last week. Another says he just shot a commercial. Everyone flexes casually. No one mentions they're broke. No one mentions they cried last night. We're actors. We lie for free even when no one asks. Finally, my name is called. I walk into the room where the casting director sits behind a camera. She doesn't look at me when she says hi. She's scrolling her phone. I stand on the tape mark on the floor. The same little piece of tape that decides whether my rent gets paid next month. I slate, "Hi, say my height, my location, and then wait for direction." The camera starts recording. My heartbeat becomes a soundtrack in my ears. I deliver my lines. The ones I practiced all morning. The ones I pretended to say to my fridge. "You didn't have to lie to me." My voice almost cracks. Not planned, but maybe real, maybe perfect. I finish. Casting says, "Okay, thanks." That's it. No smile. No reaction. Just thanks. Actors live off thanks like plants live off sunlight. When I walk out, I replay my performance in my head like a torture loop. Did I blink too much? Was I too soft? Too stiff? Too human? It doesn't matter. They probably already knew who they were casting before I walked in. I head back to the car, but it's too early to go home. I open my email. Another audition. Self-tape due tonight. Of course. Self-tapes are the blessing and curse of modern acting. You can audition from anywhere, but now you have to light, shoot, edit, and direct your own performance. For free. In your living room. Next to your laundry. I grab a quick lunch, a sandwich from a shop that charges extra for breathing inside. I sit alone, scrolling through social media. Everyone I know posting highlight reels, premieres, trailers, billboards. Meanwhile, I'm on my lunch break from pretending to have a job. It's funny in a depressing way. After eating, I go home to film that self-tape. I set up my cheap ring light. Tap it twice to make sure it doesn't flicker. I push the couch aside, so my wall looks plain. I call a friend to read lines with me over speakerphone, because all actors help each other survive. That's the unofficial rule. We start recording. First take is too flat. Second is too dramatic. Third is great, but my hair falls over my eye. Fourth is perfect until my neighbor decides this is the ideal moment to hammer something into his wall. Fifth is usable. Not my best, not my worst, but good enough to send before the deadline. I upload it, attach my resume, and hit submit. There it goes. Another little piece of my soul flying through the internet. It's late afternoon now. I still have a coaching session in an hour. Coaching costs money I barely have, but not coaching costs opportunities one definitely want. Every decision is a small gamble. I grab my notebook, write down emotional beats of the scene we're working on, and head out. My acting coach is intense but brilliant. She watches me perform and stops me halfway. She says, "You're thinking too much," which is funny because thinking is the only thing I've been doing for the last 12 hours. She makes me do the scene again, and again, and again, until I'm not reciting lines. I'm living them. When it finally clicks, she smiles. Small victory. Expensive victory. But a victory. By the time I leave, the sun is setting. The sky looks cinematic. Orange fading into purple. I catch myself staring at it like a director planning a shot. Actors see stories everywhere. It's a blessing and a curse. You feel deeply. You break easily. You rebuild constantly. I go home exhausted. My body hurts in places acting shouldn't make hurt. My voice is tired from repeating lines. My head is buzzing with every emotion I force myself to feel today. But I still need to check emails. Rejections come at night for some reason. Maybe they think it'll sting less when you're too tired to argue. I heat up dinner, leftovers from yesterday. I eat standing in the kitchen because sitting feels like too much commitment. While chewing, I think about the audition from this morning. I imagine the casting director finally watching the tape and whispering, "That's the one." I know it's unlikely, but that tiny spark of hope is the fuel that keeps actors alive. Hope is our most toxic addiction. Later, I sit on the couch scrolling through my script notes. Tomorrow I have an early call for student film. Unpaid, but experience is experience. Exposure is exposure. And starving artists stay starving if they stop showing up. I set an alarm for 5 a.m. Another early morning. Another day pretending to be someone else. My phone buzzes. A message from my mom. She writes, "Don't forget to eat properly." She still doesn't fully understand what I do. She thinks acting is like school plays but with fancier costumes. But she tries. And that matters more than talent sometimes. I shower. Warm water feels like a moment of silence for my overworked brain. While shampooing, I practice lines I haven't even been asked to memorize yet. Actors never stop rehearsing. Not physically, mentally. You rehearse hope. You rehearse success. You rehearse who you want to be when someone finally gives you the chance. I step out, towel wrapped around my head, and stare at the mirror again. My face looks softer now. Less tense. Less desperate. More human. Funny how water does that. I whisper the line from this morning. You didn't have to lie to me. It feels different now. Maybe deeper. Maybe tired. Maybe more honest. I dry off, change into a shirt that has definitely seen better days, and collapse onto my bed. My body is so tired it hums. But my mind keeps spinning. I think about the career I want. I think about the career I have. I think about quitting at least twice a day. Sometimes more. Every actor does. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. But then the universe throws you a little sign. A good take. A kind compliment. A moment where you feel alive in a way nothing else can make you feel alive. And suddenly you're all in again. I stare at the ceiling until my eyes blur. Then I check my email one last time. No offers. No callbacks. Just one new message. It's from this morning's casting studio. My stomach tightens. I tap it open slowly like disarming a bomb. It says, "Thank you for coming in today. We'd like to see you again for a call back tomorrow morning." I blink twice. I read it again. I whisper "no way" under my breath. Then I laugh. A small, ridiculous laugh that escapes without permission. Because this is what we live for. This is a tiny spark that keeps us going through all the darkness. One callback. One maybe. One little door opening somewhere in the distance. I lie back, letting myself breathe for the first time today. Just one breath. One moment where things feel okay. Maybe good. Maybe hopeful. I close my eyes. For the first time all day, the silence feels peaceful. Not empty. Just quiet. Tomorrow will be chaos again. But tonight I let hope win.